Hi, welcome to Awake TV. So today Sue and I are going to talk about energetic interference and ascension. So this is a little bit different topic. We usually want to focus ourselves on joy energy and then our internal world and the stuff like that. But me and Sue both experienced energetic attack in last week or this week. And then this is something maybe it's a good idea to talk about because I heard my favorite person I watch every morning to clear myself, Steve Noble. He has been talking about all this energetic attack from dark forces and negative aliens. But I'm thinking, well, it happened to him because he has 145K subscriber on YouTube, right? So I'm thinking that that's not my issue. I only have like 500 whatever, 90 something people, so it's not that much. That was my attitude. And then I was serving the customer. I was doing a Akashic record reading for Ichi version, so which is different version for my private client, because you can give very personal Akashic record reading, which I give to my coaching client to Ichi customer. I mean, it's not the same thing. So I was giving the reading, and that was $35, and then that has a lot of value, like has clearing, has a message from the guide. So if they are kind of interested in spirituality and kind of wanted to know their life purpose or why they're here on earth, it's a good one to pay for without really investing, a few $100s for it, right?
Yeah. Dip your toe in without losing your wallet and see if you like it, right?
Yeah. So what I got was I took half of my time because accessing Akashic Record Gatekeeper, that's energetic exchange. I had access to that field and then actually channel it and then write down what I got. So basically, this person started attacking me and sending a lot of nasty messaging on Etsy. This was I have a no refund policy because once you did it, like you can return. But I kind of thought this is not worth it because she doesn't stop messaging. It was like a bombarding of negative. I can feel negative energy, like attacking aggressive energy, and this wasn't worth it. So I refunded money to her, but I was wondering, this was second person. I got same experience. So I spoke with my soul sister Tanya, like, why do you think this is happening? Can you ask to your guide? And then basically her guide was saying this was an energetic interference from dark forces. And they see your light and they want to make sure to stop ascension process. They don't want the people to start raising their vibration and then changing all this, transforming. And then she's very clear. She's as clear as I am. So I trust her ability, but I was very surprised. It made sense to me, but I was very surprised by the answer because I was thinking, who would notice my light since I don't have a huge amount of audience? I do have like 2,700 people on TikTok, but that is not the point, Point was, I don't have 145K people. So that was my, I guess, belief, like I'm a safe place, like I'm working in incognito and then
like under the radar, right? You thought you were enough under the radar.
Yeah, no one gonna know this. I guess it wasn't,
Well, I got to interrupt you for just a quick second to point out what you just said, because I think it's really profound. We can never underestimate our light. And, you know, we've heard it said, and I've said it, you know, some people have found this in their session with me, which is, what is their life purpose? They're here to hold the light. What does that mean? That means live your life, be as happy as you can, find joy, treat people well, that sort of thing. But you say you didn't think your light was that bright. Well, guess what? It is. It's like the sun. And so even though you don't have that many followers, as many as other people you might compare yourself to, you know, in the hundreds of thousands, that's how important that holding the light is. I just wanted to interject that because this is God light. This isn't this isn't some light you turn on in your bedroom, or, you know, a candle that you, and although that's beautiful sacred light as well, you know, the candles and whatnot. But again, it's each person that is able to hold their light is so important to all of us as a collective, because that's how we get to 5D. Each one of us is turning our light on, or we're stoking our light. We keep it really protected. So it really is that big. But anyway, keep going with your story. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so I was talking to Daniel Scranton's 90 Actuarians, which is my guide too. But when I was talking to Daniel, I mean Actuarians through Daniel, they're saying, "Oh, your light is super bright, and we can see you, and then you gotta say whatever you want on social media because it's important." But I mean, I understand what they're saying, but I wasn't really taking my position as that visible, you know. But obviously, light shining kind of way, I guess dark forces can notice my light, even though follower wise I don't have that many people, I guess, right? So I learned, and then I was thinking, this is why it's a good idea to bring this topic out to you guys, everybody, our audience, because you think whatever you do, you know, could be Reiki or could be whatever you do, yoga, or you think you only have a 30 followers or subscribers, and then you think like, oh, you know, nobody gonna notice me. Probably that is not true, you know, because you don't have to have a huge 1 million people or 100,000 people to be noticeable, the frequency wise, because it got nothing to do with how many people are following you. Yeah. So I was thinking it's a good idea to talk about this. It's not because we're gonna start ourselves getting into fear mode,
Yeah,
but
no.
it's not. But like, be aware of it.
Yeah, just be conscientious that
Yeah,
it's possible.
be aware of the dark forces can sabotage you or attack you. So once you know something is going on, you know how to deal with it. So you're not going to be naive about it. You don't know what's going on.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you guys should fight, but when you know some kind of interference is happening, then you can say yourself, well, I have to put my protective shield, or, you know, Steve Noble offers a bunch of new meditation to protect yourself from dark forces. That's the newest one, by the way. So you
Yeah,
guys
for
can check it
free.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
for
guys can check
free.
it out. Yeah, for free. So I'm doing that a lot of times, not daily. So it's a good idea to do. You know, once you know you are noticed by the dark forces, you know how, or you're going to be aware enough to protect yourself from that light, you know.
Yep.
What is your experience, Sue?
I've been trying to think about how I would tell you guys about it, because there's another person involved, and I want to really protect their identity. I'm working with somebody, and we are collaborating on a project, and this person has been listening to some sources of, information, updates, reading of energies, things like that. And I think this person fell into some pretty dark energy that's really got that person thinking, reconsidering everything about their belief system. And because I just noticed the tone, you know how we can recognize each other's tone, our way of
Yeah.
seeing the world, our way of,
Mm-hmm.
expressing ideas and things like that. I noticed the tone changed almost seemed like overnight. And
Did
it
you
felt like
have
this,
a fear?
yeah, yeah, felt like a lot of fear actually. And I just thought, what the hell's going on? This is not this person at all. I mean, I've known this person for over 2 years and we've been pretty much talking almost daily. I mean, there's been, weeks where we get busy and we don't talk, but for the most part, it's almost daily. And it just blew me away. And I think the first thing I want to offer about this situation that I'm going through is I had to take a step back. My initial reaction was like, well, wait a minute, where'd you go? Worry. I was concerned.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had insight for myself that, I've dipped into fear too. So that's okay. I think that's part of the human element. And then I said to myself, I just need to step back. I mean, I gave this person what they asked for, which was my opinion on the topics that they were bringing up. Um, and I even did some channeling for this person because they asked me to. So I
Mm-hmm.
did. They wanted me to consult my guides. I did. I gave this person what the guides said. And then there was a funny reaction to that. They were like, why did you say that to me? And I said, well, you asked me to ask my guides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not I'm not the one saying that, like you asked me to ask the guides, I asked the guides, and then I quickly type as fast as I can so that I get the message to you, what they're saying
Yeah.
to me. I I'm not filtering it, I'm not adding to it or subtracting to it. You asked me to ask, I did. Here's the answer. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Um, but I'm not gonna paint rainbows. I'm just I'm just going to give whatever they give me, right?
Yeah.
So the long and the short of it is I can't say whether this was an attack by dark forces or
I
just
think it
somebody.
is because
It's
I
it's
woke up and then it hit me.
yeah,
When it happened to me, then I'm like, wow, same thing.
yeah, and I suspect it is too because we're working on a project that I think uh, through sessions, doing quantum healing sessions and getting information from, hypnosis. And you know what that's like, higher selves and angels and guides and all of that. So it's not even my information, but this is information we're compiling because we want to give it to the collective to help other people.
Yeah.
Um, so by answering our questions, we're hoping that, it'll answer other people's questions.
Yeah.
So I really just send love. I'm not offended. And I think that's the important thing that I want to convey today is that we can't take it personally if somebody else goes into a fear place. But we really, really, and we've said this so many times, we really have to be careful what we're dipping into on a regular basis, because if that source that you're going to is constantly spewing fear, you know, chances are they're not working for the light. And I'll give you a good example. Tarot by Janine, right? You and I have told everybody how we like to listen to her. Now, I don't, buy lock, stock, and barrel and everything she predicts through the cards.
No,
But
it's
there are
entertaining to
times
watch.
it's entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even when she talks about things that aren't the greatest, right? It's not great news. It's okay, but it's not great. She always posits the information in the best possible light. you know, like she doesn't go doom and gloom. She doesn't start telling everybody to, you know, evacuate or you're in big trouble or you better watch out because it's going to happen. No, she talks about even the benefits of something happening that we would consider negative. She can turn it around into, well, this is maybe the positive side of this thing,
Yeah.
because humanity needs to learn this lesson or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is she doesn't spew fear. And that's why I know that that is a source that I can go to, even if I don't listen to everything she's, you know, take it as a fact. It is entertaining. I like listening to her updates. I think she is very connected to the collective as a whole, but
But I
she
want to
doesn't
add
scare
something.
people.
I want to add something. She's
Yeah.
not connecting to just one collective. She's connecting, you told me that too, a couple of different collective.
Yeah.
So sometimes when she reads, she's reading me and Sue's timeline. Sometimes she reads, that's not our timeline at all. But
Right.
regardless, it's still entertaining.
Well, and it's positive. I
As
mean,
long as it's positive.
it's not
And
scaring
mostly
people.
they are.
You know, seriously, folks, if you, the best way to protect yourselves against any kind of psychic attack from any source is not to allow yourself to go into fear.
And then
Because,
also, if you get attacked by someone, like I got, bullied by this client, it's very important to stand up for yourself, right? And then at the end of the day, you have to think about, is it worth it to keep on talking with this person,
yeah,
in the name of customer service, because you're worth it. So,
well,
it's
there's
important to set
boundary
the
setting.
boundary. Yeah, it's important to set the boundary. So what I did was I refunded to her, and then I told her to do not contact me again. you know, because
Good.
she was sending a message, like a bombarding message, like every 2 minutes, crazy amount. And then in the beginning, she was saying her life is miserable, you know. So after this lesson, of course, you're gonna always think about why you are experiencing this, because I really wanted to know, not because of the victim mentality. I was seriously curious why. What is the purpose of meeting this person?
Yeah.
So I switched on my price to put a higher price, of course. So something good came out of it. And then also, I asked, even though it doesn't require to see the photo of the photo to do the reading, I put the photo request for every single reading. So if
Oh,
I
good.
see super negative vibrational person who is purchasing my product, I'll decline. It sounds mean, but seriously, if they don't really cherish what I serve, I don't need their money.
Hmm.
That's my boundary, really, because
Well, I mean, you really do offer a good deal.
I do.
So, I mean, for someone to throw that kind of a shit fit over $35, absolutely ridiculous, especially for the amount of time that you put into that reading
Yeah, plus
and
like
you
healing.
transcribed it.
Yeah,
I
plus
mean,
healing and then activation. That's
I
like,
know. That's a hell of a deal. I'm glad you raised your prices because I think you were probably offering too good of a deal and then people don't believe that it's true and I don't know, take advantage. I think I told this story about the guy who made a really nice software gaming program and he didn't want to charge a lot for it because he wanted people to have access to it, but it wasn't selling. And then someone said, a friend of his that had played the game really loved it. And he says, I don't understand. It's not selling. And the friend says, well, you're selling it too cheaply. People don't believe that the game could be any good for that price. So you have to raise your price. And sure enough, he did raise his price. And sure enough, his sales went through the roof because, the more people that played it, word of mouth, that sort of thing. But they just couldn't, I guess the moral of that story is they just couldn't believe it was that good of a deal for the price. And that's sad. That's a sad commentary. That's a whole nother show. But
it is, because when people have a 5D mentality, like you feel like you want your stuff to access to everybody, right?
yeah, yeah.
But I guess because my my soul sister's guide was saying, you gotta raise the price, because when you are offering low hanging fruits, you are attracting someone who is, they basically said, I'm attracting someone with low vibration.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh,
Well,
that kind of makes sense.
you know, and it just blows my mind, because any program that you want for your enhancement, you're reaching out to a practitioner because you're trying to improve your life or get insight into your life or things like, I don't understand people looking for this $10 deal. It's like, is that really what you think of yourself? You're only going to invest. I remember when our health insurance changed, and our chiropractic visits were almost entirely covered. I think we had like a $5 copay, and it went to, they were covering $5, so we had to pay the rest of it.
Yeah.
We just did it. We just did it, and we kept going because we knew that our health was just that important, and it was very important to to get those adjustments from time to time. Well, and my son was all into sports. And so sometimes you have a sports related injury that can be corrected through chiropractic. So, we continued that. But I never stopped to say, oh, gee, what a hardship it is. We have to pay this extra money. No, it was like, I'm just glad we're able to afford and put the money into that. I mean, I'd rather spend it on that than a $5 latte somewhere. And people won't think twice about spending that $5 on a freaking cup of coffee, but they won't put more money into their own health. I don't get it. I really don't. It blows my mind.
Yeah. So like the most important thing is I learned my lesson to, well, I was thinking that one of those reasons to standing up myself against the bully, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was working on myself today. And then I kind of had this flashback of when I was a kid, like those stupid people in my neighborhood was bullying me because I look different, you know? And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to release that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of good thing came out of it, because otherwise I wouldn't able to access to that memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when negative thing happen to you, it's not always negative, because when you look at the other perspective, it, you can use that as your advantage to flip around to make it positive for you.
That's a great point. I'm so glad you said that. Because even in my situation, with my friend, my partner that I'm doing work with, um, it was just for me a reminder that I have to respect everybody's journey. And it doesn't matter how, high frequency someone is, we can slip into energetic potholes, or go into fearful spaces, or like you said, it reminds you of something from your past, and you need to go into that energy a little bit in order to release it, whatever. But I didn't take it personally. And it was a reminder to me that I can never assume um, anybody's status or what their life plan is, or I just have to constantly respect everybody's journey, and we all do. We have expectations that we set, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying, we tend to have expectations of people. And then when somebody does something that's not congruent with our expectations, you know, I think the old way of reacting to that is to maybe somehow personalize it. It really isn't personal. It's just that's how people are being. And that's what they're doing at this moment point in their life. If we can not personalize it, I think that allows us to keep our energy really high. And then we're not going to be susceptible to attacks.
Yeah, and then we're not gonna get hurt by other person's reaction or something, because if we don't personalize. But if
Yeah.
the other person is still attacking you, you know how to set the boundaries.
Oh yeah, you got to
You
shut
know,
it down.
you're gonna
No
say
doubt.
enough,
Yeah.
because like money is, I guess, tool we need to have until certain point of our ascension. So everybody gonna collectively decide we don't need money anymore, just like any other higher vibrational society. But until then, we have to have those. But just because we have to have those doesn't mean you have to sell yourself to get them. So if the other person is abusive to you, or you're doing something you really don't feel good in order to get that money, that's where, I personally think a good idea to set your boundary. Like, I don't need your money. Like, get a fuck up out of my world. You know, seriously. It's a good idea to have that kind of boundary, because if you're accepting everybody in your world just because you need to make money and you have to pay something, that's like to me, I feel like that's more like poverty consciousness, or
Yeah.
like, I do know it's not everybody. I know very happy, very wealthy people, but I do know some people who are unhappy. Even though they are wealthy, they are constantly worried. I don't know why they have to worry about money, but they're constantly worried about somehow somebody gonna steal money from them, or somehow some catastrophe gonna happen and their fortune gonna disappear, or whatever. Their state is like that.
Well, I
So
think that is a form of poverty consciousness,
it
actually.
is poverty consciousness, even though
Yeah.
they do have money. So my point is, like, when you don't set the boundaries toward what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy, when it comes to money, it's a really good lesson that I want to share you guys to think about that. What's your line? you know
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
gonna say money is money, but things is, if you have to give up something like your dignity or your good feeling, or could be your body, whatever, everybody do have their own limit, what you feel uncomfortable. If you have to give up on something,
Yeah.
that's something you do want to take a deep look at,
Yeah.
to see it's worth it or not.
And I want to mention, and I found out this weekend when I spent the weekend with some friends out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't realize this was still the case, but it's worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel dark energy coming my way, I immediately call in the angels, especially Raphael and Metatron. But that's just something I do without even thinking about it. I just bring that energy in and I'm fine. But what I found out this weekend is that some people still associate angelic energy with religion, which, duh, I guess it makes sense. But really, the angels are they're so real, but they're so separate from religion. They're
Yeah.
included. They're included in religious dogma. I believe the Jewish heritage also talks about angels. Of course, what would that Bible be? The first one. What's that called?
Old Testament.
Oh, thank you. Old Testament. Um, but I also believe that the Islamic religion talks about angels.
Yeah, they
And
do.
yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I know about all the religions. I mean, certainly not, but I know that angels are not limited to Christianity. So anyway, I just want to say, if you feel like there's some kind of attack happening or some kind of real negative energy that you find yourself in, just call in the angels because they're right there. I mean, we have to ask for their assistance. They cannot interfere because we have free will. I think they're protecting us anyway, according to Soul Plan, but I'm talking about when you need a little special extra protection or feeling, you could even just say, let me feel your energy, please. Whatever angel you feel attracted to, or a group of angels, or the Christ consciousness, or, uh, you know, any other being that you feel close to, call them in or right away, immediately. You know, you don't have to say the words aloud. All you have to do is think the thoughts. They're right there.
Yeah, I mean, I did call in Archangel Michael like last week, and then I told him like, please make sure to bring only customer who is not aggressive or what are you gonna call it, toxic. I don't want that kind of customer. And then I got this person yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why I was questioning, you know, and then I got a clarity of dark forces thing. So now I was doing sleep meditation, but it's always a good idea to call angels and then ask them what you're looking for. So they're gonna kind of do energetic clearance to make sure that certain kind of person not gonna come into your life. You know, like some people, you know, a lot of coaches they talk about you have to imagine your ideal client. So you are going to get that kind of people only, you know. Maybe I'm not saying you guys to do that kind of way, but if you're doing some kind of work dealing with the people, maybe it's a good idea to talk to your angel to give them your standard, you know, because
Well, you know, interestingly enough, you did that and then you got the second one. So that just, that kind of no, seriously, that tells me that that situation happened for a purpose. Remember, you said to me, you know, what's the point behind this? Why did this happen? And I didn't have an answer for you. I'm really glad you called Tanya, because nothing was really coming to me other than people can be assholes sometimes, but that wasn't really helpful. But you know, sometimes we can set, you know, ask for the interventions and the protections and only certain kinds of clients, and then we get an asshole anyway. That tells me that there's something to be learned from the situation. And then you did point out that it reminded you of something in your childhood, and then you were able to clear that. So
yeah, it's
maybe there was
like
just this little last bit of thing rolling around, energy rolling around in there from the past, and then that happened so that you could just get rid of it finally, you know, just be done with it. So you're like, okay, I'm powerful, I know I can set boundaries, and you
yeah,
did.
like the person or anybody can bulldozering you over, you know, that kind of like a heavy energy this person had.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was saying like my service is $10 value. In what world like you want to do clearing and then activation and the reading and that's $10, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
of course,
almost feel like you got a hold of a person that just had nothing better to do with their time, and they said, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck with her for a while," and
yeah,
uh, and then you just shut it down. And kudos, because we
yeah.
have to do that sometimes, and we don't like to do it, but you know, some people can just way overstep boundaries. Matter of
And then
fact,
also at the social media time or people do worry about the reviews or rating, I would tell you, do not even worry about that. When you have to stand up for yourself, you know, you're not gonna say your customer fuck off, like I'm saying to you guys right now. That's how I feel. But I didn't write down on my response fuck off, you know. You give
yeah, don't do that.
yeah, you give a customer service response because you know how to do customer service, and then you do stand up for yourself while you are responding the review, but doesn't mean you know you're gonna let the other person take advantage of you, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys are dealing with not just a spiritual service but some kind of dealing with the people, still it's a good idea to find your ground and stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
If anybody is trying to take advantage or start making up some kind of story according to them, it's still a good idea to stand up for yourself.
True.
You know, uh,
It's funny, over the weekend, that trip I went on, I had gosh, I hesitate to tell the story, but I don't think it'll get back. Anyway, my host for the weekend just broke so many of my boundaries, you know,
Mhm.
just gnawed at them. And it had to do with ridiculous stuff like food and how I wear my hair. And I thought, what is going on here? You know, I came to this beautiful place just wanting to have a nice, relaxing weekend with some friends, and this person is up my butt sideways. What the fuck, you know? And
Mhm.
then it kind of came to me, kind of similar to what you went through, was I just had to keep setting my boundaries and
Yeah.
not take it personal. It was a personality thing, that's all. This is how this person behaves with everybody that's female anyway. And because the guys didn't get the same treatment that I did, but then it dawned
Typical.
on me almost towards the very end of the trip, which was, this woman wants to mother me. She wanted to mother me. And I mean, I'm 53 years old. I didn't even think that was possible anymore.
Mhm.
But it was very clear that that's what was going on. And it did remind me of, you know, my own mother and the times that she would try to be controlling about things. And really, she had the best intention at heart. She had no idea, my mother and my host had no idea how intrusive it was. But it just blew my socks off because I haven't encountered that in so many years that I just was completely taken off my game. So I had to like do some meditation. I had to do some breathing. I had to go for walks, you know, just to get away from the energy and settle myself. And then I said to myself, hey, listen, you got this. You know what? You're just not taking it personally. You're going to be the best possible, um, you know, visitor that you can be, and be compassionate about the fact that she needs to mother people. But I also had to set my boundaries too. It was like walking a tightrope. I was literally tired by the end of the weekend. I was supposed to go and have a rest.
Yeah.
um,
It is tiring.
but you know, these things happen, I think, because it's to show us something. And it's to remind us, you know, that we really are in control of our own reality. We either allow something to happen, we become bullied, or we can fall into some kind of victim role, or we're all powerful beings and we know how to set our boundaries, and
Yeah,
we
we
know
can
how to ask the
overcome.
universe for what we want too.
And
Yeah,
also, it's really important that a lot of times dark forces use other humans to, use other humans to bring us down. And this is not a negative victim consciousness, because I was far away from this fact, but since it was pointed out, it kind of made sense to me. To dim me a
yeah,
light, they're gonna send those people who may have implants, who may did, job, so people could control them somehow, right?
that's
Or
possible.
whatever
Yeah,
that is. Or they may be having well, technically they could control people with job, with all this electrical, whatever the manipulation thing. They can send all this signal,
oh, from the towers. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yep,
technically they can send all this MK Ultra kind of thing. Who knows, right? Whatever. Everything is possible. So whole point is they can send a person to bring you down. But if you are having your own boundary, and then you cherish yourself and you put yourself first, that doesn't mean selfish. You're being loving yourself.
yep,
And then like, you don't take it personally, but you set your boundaries. No beings, no dark forces can attack you. Well, on top of you, tell your angels or your guide to protect you. And then I was told, Tonia's guide, to go back to your joy, you know. So I decided to watch funny YouTube videos. So that's
and
what I
I
did.
think that is the cream on top of the sundae, which is if you don't let them steal your joy, your own personal space, like if it's not taking you days and weeks to recover from such a thing, you just kind of go, yeah, that happened. I'm back to myself again. They really don't have any ability to take us over, only if we give it to them.
Yeah, because like if you know who you are, guys, and then other people start defining you, whatever is the according to their perspective, it doesn't really scratch you, or it doesn't even like hurt you or anything, because even like previous my channeling, I was saying the particular person was calling like my channeling is like possessed, whatever. And then actually the fact is this person is possessed. And then,
Sounds like it.
according to other people's sources, how she speaks to her large amount of audiences, she used hypnotic way of talking. So people listen to her speeches, but they are being hypnotized without knowing it. But I don't watch her because I'm very, very, very selective who I watch. So her vibration is skeptical.
You want to know who else used hypnosis to influence their audience? Hitler.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
That was one of his greatest tactics. His cadence, the voice, and not to mention he'd go on and on and on for a very long time, just kind of repeating the same things over and over again.
And that's a hypnosis when person is repeating the same kind of phrases over and over.
Yep. And I've never watched the movie, but I think he created a movie about the Jewish people that supposedly was also programming people to hate them. And I guess it was very effective. My husband, who went through, he was a communication major in college. He watched the movie and he said, Jesus, said, I've never felt that way before in my life. But by the end of the movie, he's like, I was starting to feel feelings of like, I didn't like Jewish people. And I said, you really? And he says, yeah. And I'm kind of glad I've never seen it, to be honest with you. But I don't think it was called Mein Kampf. It was something else. The Eternal Jew, it was called. And that was mass distributed, that movie, throughout the German population. And yeah, so we got to be very careful what we entertain with. We've got to be careful what we watch, what we read, what we listen to. But yeah, people can use hypnosis for nefarious reasons, and I never would. But
we don't. But like, it's really important to like be skeptical to the people. Like this person has 1 million followers or 200 or whatever the K followers or 70 whatever followers. That doesn't mean this person can span like amazing vibration.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Jobs, not Steve Jobs, Steve Noble's vibration is cool. I did interview with him. So the person I picked to do Awake TV interview approved by my vibrational scale. But, but regardless, it's like social media thing is double-edged sword. Just because person has whatever the huge amount of follower doesn't mean that person is credible. Maybe this person is likable or whatever, but doesn't mean you have to believe every single thing what this person is saying.
Yeah. And tune into the body. We keep saying it. Tune into the body. If your body is reacting, suddenly you have a headache that you were feeling fine, or you're starting to get tired or nauseous, or you're just feeling tension in your body, just listening to something, that's your body telling you, get out, get out, get out.
Yeah, or reading some material because you're curious and then your vibration drops, suddenly don't even read it, you know. I
Yeah.
stopped reading a particular book I told you about the last time, and then I kind of threw out in the garbage, trash in my computer because I'm like, I read one chapter and then that was
Yeah.
good. And then I'm like, I don't need anything else.
Yeah. Would you remember I sent you last week that hypnosis session that somebody sent me? And I started listening to it, and immediately I felt the darkness there. I mean, it was something. You felt it too. You told me, you said, I
Well,
can't even watch
yeah,
5 minutes of this.
I looked at it 1 minute. It was like very dark, like horrible
Yeah.
vibration, you know?
Yeah, we both turned it off because it was like, I'm not interested in this energy at all. And I'll add, I think I watched it a little more than you did. This person, this hypnotist was totally leading the client. You're not supposed to do that in a session. If somebody's telling you what you should be seeing, no, that is a programming hypnosis.
I mean,
What we do is we guide you.
can you explain the difference between
Sure.
sometimes it's a
Yeah.
guided meditation without image and everything. So people might not know what
Well,
they're talking.
okay, so here's the difference. We use guided meditation to get to a person into a hypnotic state, which means we take beautiful images and places. We find out what kind of environments they like. Like if you were going to your preferred vacation spot, what would it look like? And we embellish that so that it helps quiet the mind and allow the subconscious to come forward. So it's always, beautiful images, things that they like, or experiences that they've had in their life that bring joy to them to help bring into a hypnotic state, which is the theta brainwave. When we do grounding, once we feel that we've sufficiently guided them to that theta brainwave, we do grounding. We ask them where they are.
Yeah.
And are they in physical form? Are they not in physical form? And
Inside,
we start,
outside.
yep, inside, outside, your environment. Is there anybody there with you? That sort of thing. We ask the questions and they tell us where they are, what they're experiencing. And, eventually, as you progress through the hypnosis, we find out why they were brought there in the first place by their guides or their higher self. We never tell them what they're seeing. We never tell them that what they're seeing isn't real. We never tell them that, you know, this guide that came to talk to them is false. It just blew my mind when I heard that.
Also, this person was saying the guide is not a
Oh yeah.
real guide.
Mm-hmm. And they were trying
Wow.
to get this person to, because I guess Jesus appeared and tried to convince this person that it wasn't really Jesus, and let's find out who it really is. And it
Oh
was
my
just
God, that's so manipulative.
I had to get out of it. I was like, I can't watch another second of this. But
Oh my God.
yeah, so as if hypnosis doesn't have enough bad connotations, you got crap like that floating around. But guys, this is not what we do at all. This is not what quantum healing is about. We let you do the talking and tell us what's going on. We just guide you there. We don't tell you what your experience is going to be, and we certainly don't program you. The only
Yeah.
program I can say that we do is, as we're bringing them out of the hypnosis, we do give the intention that they're going to wake up feeling refreshed and relaxed. And we're going to, thank all of the beings that have come to talk to them that day, to go back to the dimension where they came from with much gratitude. I mean, that's the only programming I've ever used. I don't know about you.
Well, I say, they're relaxed and at ease, and then I do use spaceship or twin flame goddess to guide them on that kind of thing. But whole point is like each client has their particular senses. So that doesn't mean they are always visual. So it's not they can see it. So I guide them to use their best senses to understand what they're experiencing. But after they start, acclimate themselves into whatever the environment and they start expressing what they are experiencing, it's them talking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a 90% them talking, and we kind of ask questions like, oh, what happened? Who are you meeting? Who is this person?
Mm-hmm. And we fast forward them in the life, or sometimes we regress them in a life. And then we get to finally asking, okay, what is the point of whoever it is we're working with in seeing this
Yeah,
lifetime?
why your higher self
Why?
brought you to this particular
Right.
life?
Yeah.
What is the point of it?
But I'd
But
never dream of telling them that what they were telling me was false. It just,
that's crazy.
that is crazy. So there's some dark shit going around, people. Be careful.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
careful.
I was very skeptical about hypnosis thing, even though I'm offering that to client now. But because of I know the programming and everything, I was very skeptical in the beginning until I experienced the BQH session. Of course, I chose the person through vibrational level. So I looked at each person's picture in those directory, and then I picked her. And then I was like, oh, she has a super high vibration. And the good thing is, her guide, they are Pleiadians. So they decided, oh, today we're gonna open up her clairvoyant ability. So until then,
Ooh.
I couldn't see anything because my ability was clairaudient and then feel the vibration. So I was very blind. So after that, I could see. All of a sudden, I could see. I
Nice.
still cannot visualize with visualization meditation. It's hard. But when it comes to client, when I'm doing session, I can see everything. Yeah.
That is so cool. I really want that superpower. I have the clairaudient. I have the clear knowing, but sometimes the smell, I don't know what that's called, but I can smell spirits.
Clear sense, clear
Sentient.
sentient.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
nice like when I'm seeing what my client is seeing during the hypnosis.
wow, that would be so
So
cool.
yeah, we are seeing the same thing. So sometimes when client is skeptical, like, do you think I'm making up? Do you think I'm making up? Then I'll describe what she's seeing, and are you seeing that? And she was, yeah, exactly.
Nice confirmation.
That's
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's
I've had a
nice.
couple times where I've seen what they were seeing, but only like a glimmer of it, and I didn't have a chance to confirm that I got what, usually in the after talk, it would come out and she'd say, well, I saw this or that. I'm like, yeah, I remember seeing that too, but I only get glimmers. I don't get the whole Monty like you do. That's
But
kind of cool.
a lot of times, like now, I used to do healing after the session, but now during the regression, I started seeing their past life selves, and then some of them are bad traumatized.
Yeah.
So I could see them while my client is describing their past life self or galactic self or whatever. So I gotta do the session on the spot because I'm seeing the person. So
Yeah.
it's not entity attachment because that was part of your soul fractal. But a lot of times it's a good idea to heal them, then ask them if they want to release that part of you.
Yeah, see, you had said to me when we were talking privately, that you think I don't believe in entity attachments, and that's what you just said is what I see it as. It's yes, there's an energy attached to you, but I just happen to believe that it's yourself. It's like an unhealed version of yourself in another lifetime that is now coming forward.
But that's different though. That is their past lives. Sometimes, I was watching a particular hypnosis person on YouTube, and then she does a lot of sessions, and then sometimes, I don't watch anymore because I don't have 2 hours to watch. But sometimes when I was watching the particular client, and they started having this entity attachment reaction, and she's doing entity removal, which I do the same thing when if I counter that during my session, which doesn't happen often, but like sometimes it's kind of there.
Hmm.
It
See,
doesn't happen all
I've
the time.
never had that. Not in one session I've ever done. I've never had that. That's where me and Candace are alike, because I just have not had that experience where someone had something that was other than themselves. Because
It's
I believe,
like,
I think in free will, it's just not really possible. However, that being said, I'm talking about an unwilling attachment. I'm not saying that if a person decides to go swimming in dark energies, that something can't become part of them because they've allowed it. See, that I can buy. I can believe that that's possible because people do it all the time. They play with these,
yeah, because
dark ones.
like I had to go to this crazy old Japanese cemetery mountain place. That part is supposedly holy, like place like Shasta. But what I didn't know was, in order to get to that area, you have to go through huge amount of cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was feeling extremely like, I told Archangel Miguel to be next to me all the time. And then I called Jesus in and make sure to protect me while I'm walking all shit road of like a graveyard, because I could tell all these things are lurking around. Like I have no intention to connect with any kind of dead people or see them. So I don't see them, I don't hear them, even though I'm clairaudient and clairvoyant, because I don't want to. But
Oh my God, I could go take a nap in a cemetery. I think cemeteries are peaceful.
yeah, but it wasn't what I walked. So
Huh. Was
I
it Yahokigara?
I felt a lot of
Yahokigahara?
weird vibrational energy there. And then the whole point is, when you walk through like that kind of cemetery or any kind of disturbed places like haunted house or whatever that is, right? Weird places.
Or like a place that carries an energy where some bad shit happened?
Or war zone, or old war
War zones. Yep,
something,
yep, yep.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the place something happened. Then you happen to walk by, and you happen to they could hitchhike. They use you as a ride, and then
See, I don't know. I don't think if your energy's high enough that they could.
no, not me. But I'm saying like people who are having an entity attachment, I could buy into the phenomenon. They might catch these entity while they are walking around, like they happen to feeling, because my friend showed me the raw material of the film. So he was making the film about secret sect of Catholic priests who they do exorcism, and they only do. So he did show me all this exorcism raw footage. So raw footage means in film world, nobody gonna touch that. Nobody did edit, nobody did coloring, nobody did correction of sound, nothing. So he gave me that footage to see if I can use for something in the future, like my movies or whatever. So I watched it. It was so real. So it was a couple of different people. They are possessed by demons. So I'm gonna tell you guys, those demonic figure is non-physical galactic entity. People decided to call them as a demonic or demon or whatever, because people didn't know there are some forces outside of the planet. They happen to be non-physical. So anyhow, these people got possessed, and I was watching it, and I was like, there is no way, because they're not actors, they're regular people. So regular people cannot act. You know, they're not actors. They don't know how to act when people are possessed. So I was like, what the fuck, you know? I watched everything, you know, and then I knew about that. And then me and my friends were talking about when people are susceptible with possessed by some entity, and they have very clear situation. When you drink a lot, when you're drinking
drugs, alcohol.
yeah, because when you're drinking or when you're doing drugs, like you kind of make yourself vacant, even though you are.
Or people that are like really sociopaths and murderers, and you know, people that hang with the darkest elements. My understanding is if their energy is really, really low, they
Yeah,
can start
but
having associations. And so, and I guess that's a kind of a permission, you know?
yeah, but you know, like maybe people are not aware of like drinking a lot or doing some drugs or, you know, smoking marijuana. They think like, oh, that's no big deal. But like there is, I'm not saying do not drink ever, because I do socially drink. So, but when you drink a lot and then you lose your consciousness, you kind of open yourself door to, if that entity is next to you or near you, you happen to be on that spot, like some bar or club or something, and then they do hang out a place like that, by the way. And then when they happen to be next to you, and then you are vacant, then they're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna enter. So that's, if I have to put simply, that's what could be happening. So we are not like putting you guys into fear mode, but it's a good idea to be aware when you put yourself in the
Low
compromised
vibrational
situation,
energy.
well,
Yeah.
compromise the situation to make yourself not fully conscious, right? When you drink or do drugs, your vibration drops. And then that kind of situation, or if you are extremely like emotionally like down, not just down temporarily, but something really terrible happened, that like you are emotionally down, like, you know, when you're vulnerable situation, for example, that is a time like that might happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen to everyone. So time like that, especially, it's a good idea to protect yourself, right?
Yeah,
Or
see, that's where you and I kind of diverge a little bit, because I just don't think it's possible that someone can come and take you over against your will. I think if you you know, like, you can't like catch a spirit in the bar, you know, because you got really drunk one night. But I think um if you're regularly playing in those energies, and you keep them even ceremoniously. Some people do it on purpose. They try to call these energies in, uh, you know, Ouija boards and all that kind of stuff. I think you can, you know, at some point it constitutes permission. The more you hang out with the dark elements, I think, you know, you can get to a point where you give permission, and they can come in. So just be careful, I guess. That would
yeah,
be
so
that's my point of view, you know.
yeah, it's a good idea to, if you can, you know, some people are very strict about, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drug. You know, if that is your policy, which is better than my policy, I guess, that's good for you because you're not gonna make yourself open for anything. That's good. But that is a thing I learned through my friends, because, you know, my friends were investigating that thing through documentary. So I got the knowledge. So that was kind of interesting. But by the way, so whatever, through the human or through putting yourself in the vulnerable situation, these energetic interference can happen. I'm not saying 100% happen, can happen. So the best way to put yourself is always protect yourself through higher vibrational being, and then put the boundaries, and then also like try
Stay
to
happy.
shift
Stay
yourself,
joyful.
shift yourself into joy energy. So when you are, nothing can touch you.
That's right.
Nothing.
I believe in that 100%.
Yeah, and then
And the fastest way to get into a better energy is to just start doing some gratitude.
Yeah,
When you start feeling yourself going down a little bit, just start finding things to be grateful for. You'll change your energy just like that.
Yeah, because a lot of times, funny thing is, when you watch YouTube, it's not always I watch spiritual people. Do I really watch spiritual people? Not much. I watch some certain tarot card reader I like, but my regular channel I watch, they are regular folks who happen to be really funny, their commentary and everything. And then when I look at them or I hear their voices, they have a high vibration. So like people who happen to be funny or putting very funny content or entertaining content, they usually happen to be high vibrational. And believe it or not, more than those spiritual gurus.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'd always rather laugh than cry, even if whatever made me cry was the truth. Make me laugh. That's so much better.
Yeah. So it's really important to be aware it's out there. So this is very different episode from our regular episode because we usually stay away from this kind of content. But it's a good idea to talk about it because it's out there.
And I just want to say really quick before we go, we're not just talking about demonic forces. We're talking about, remember when we were kids, people, your mother or somebody would tell you, they just don't like it because you're happy, so they're trying to steal your joy. So there are those people. They're not demons. They're not entities. They're not demons. They're nothing. They're just negative people that see a person who has light and they want to steal your light by making you miserable. So we're talking about those people too, psychic attacks, things like that. But there are really people that want to steal other people's joy, and just don't let them have it.
Yeah, energetic vampires. So if you deal with people, someone you dealt with someone who is negative or complaining or aggressive, and after that you are energetically drained so much, those energetic vampire people, that's including.
Yeah.
And then
I just wanted to throw that out there that, there's a range of dark energy we're talking about, everywhere. It's like 50 shades of gray of dark energy. But
that book is not high vibrational either, by the way.
I've never read it.
It was a horrible writing, by the way.
Oh geez. But in a way, I have a hard time from snickering when I know that somebody's purposefully trying to piss me off. It has the opposite effect. It just makes me start laughing. And sometimes I laugh right out loud, but usually I keep it in my brain where I just start snickering because I can see it coming a mile away. It's like, dude, sorry, your life is shitty, but you're not gonna screw my day by, trying to bend my energy. You ever said something to somebody where, like you tell them something positive or some experience you had, and then they told you they get mad, or they tell you 5 reasons why you shouldn't have enjoyed what you enjoyed, or what's wrong with what you did. And I just sit there and go, really? That's pathetic. If I don't, the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
When it comes to other people telling you a story, it's like, if you don't have any positive commentary, keep your mouth shut. But I've never been the kind of person that tries to steal other people's joy, so I don't have to worry about it. But there certainly are people out there like that. They just, It's like your light is too bright and they can't stand it and they want to knock you down a few pegs. And your job is to not let them,
Yeah,
step into your own power and refuse to give up your good natured, your good time or your good nature because somebody wants to crap on you, don't let it
yeah.
happen.
Be your own light and then make sure that don't give a crap about people. Like I was watching a TikTok video and then I forgot the name of the lady who played a hairstylist in Legally Blonde. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's funny. And this lady made a TikTok and she was saying, do you know what the secret of whatever, I forgot what she said, whatever is, not to care, be confident,
Yep.
not to care about what other people are gonna think,
Yeah.
which is true. Because
Yeah.
if you no longer care about the review, if you no longer care about your reputation, because you can't really make everybody like you. That's the truth. Even though you have an amazing personality and you are super talented and you are super likable, there's a few people who just hate you just because who you are. And that got nothing to do with you.
I I still laugh about this to this day. I didn't when it happened, but for years I laugh about it because somebody told me they didn't know why they couldn't stand me. They just hated my face.
That's so stupid.
Well, not much I can do about that. Thanks for
Uh,
sharing.
right? Some people just don't like you because the way you talk or just who you are. And then what are you going to do? Apologize about your presence?
Well, I'm
Right?
obviously not going to go get plastic surgery because my face pissed her off. It just
Yeah.
still strikes me as funny because, like, okay, if that's the case, why tell me about it?
Well, like blindfold yourself or don't look.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, I got an idea. Don't look at my face.
Or put the bag on your face. Here is the solution. Put your bag on your face. So
Yeah, yeah.
the point is like, because a lot of the times people do care about social media likes or popularity or whatever it is. Do not even care about that.
Yeah, you're not going to win that game. That's all there
Yeah,
is
because
to it.
if you care about what other people think of you, you can live your life.
No.
And then a lot of people I know who are free and really happy and happen to have a really nice personality, they don't give a crap about what other people think.
It's true.
And that is really secret of live free and live happy.
Yep.
Because measuring stick of other people always change, depends on how they're feeling at the moment. So
Well, not only that, but we're all creating our own reality anyway. So, to try and care about what somebody else believes or thinks about you, you want their reality? I don't want their reality. I want my own.
yeah. So this lady is true. Like, don't give a crap about what other people think, because even if you are Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect, they're gonna 1% or 10% of people don't like you because how perfect you are. They always make a crap about why they don't like you.
See, I don't have any experience with that. I'm not perfect. I'm so far from it. So it's funny. But and then I like to laugh at myself anyway. Get a sense of humor, people. Just don't stop being so damn serious all the time. Really, life just isn't that. Uh, it's not fatal. It
And
really
then
isn't.
just because you have a flaws, that's okay. Because of them, that makes you relatable. You know, and majority of the people are good people. I
Yeah, I think so
seriously think
too.
that way too. So don't
Absolutely.
worry about what other people think. If you like yourself, that's good enough.
Oh, you just reminded me. Somebody said, and I think I don't know if it was Daniel Scranton Matt Kahn or possibly Arne Ellingham. I don't remember who said it, but somebody really smart said this, and I love it. And it's, you meet the version of, oh, I know, it came through in a session. It came through in a session. And I won't say the person I was working with, but you meet the version of the person that you're looking for. So in other words, if you know, you've had 10 years experience with this person and you just expect them to always be that way, that's probably the way they're going to be, because that's what you're expecting. But if you look into the person and you see that God spark that's in them, you can actually bring that out in people. It may take a minute, you know, of conversation or whatever, but they can tell by just looking at you what you see in them. It's like that instantaneous communication that's energetic. It's not verbal. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can see the God spark in everybody that you're interacting with, pretty soon, that's all you're going to see, because that energy is what brings to you what you're looking for in other people. If on the other hand, you're one of those people that's always looking for the worst in others, or they think that others are always going to try and take advantage of them or talk about them behind their back, well, unfortunately, you're calling that to yourself. So yeah, I
Yeah,
just thought that was worth saying. Be careful what you're hunting. You know, I always say hunt the good stuff,
yeah. And
because
then you set a boundary, you know who you are, then you see goodness of other people without being naive, then you're all set.
yeah, I really believe that.
Yeah, seriously, this is a good country, even though, well, we'll bring ourselves back.
This is a good
Majority of us
world.
are, good people,
Yeah,
hardworking good people. We are fine. We'll be fine.
we are.
Yeah. So we see you guys next week. We're gonna bring more interesting topic next week, and then that's about it. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.